Usually the day before election results is a quiet day. You know, there's this studied silence, uneasy at that. But today in Delhi, we saw hectic political activity where the Aam Aadmi constantly trying to put pressure on the Election Commission to release the Delhi election data. Well, viewers, just about an hour ago, and that's the news that we are breaking, the Election Commission has released the entire Delhi election data. Over 94,51,000 people cast their vote. Let's break it down. 50.42 lakh voters were men and 44.08 lakh voters were women. The voter breakup, 53.35% men, 46.64% women. Women turnout, 60.92%, male turnout 60.21%. That's the latest that we are getting in. It's something that possibly the Aam Aadmi Party will take part in, because the Aam Aadmi Party is hoping that the women come out in large numbers and support the party, and seemingly, at least where data is concerned, that has happened. But are they sure that they have voted for the Aam Aadmi Party? That's the big question, because if we look at the exit poll data, it doesn't suggest the same. I want to quickly cut across to Rajdeep Sargasai, who's joining us for more on the latest coming in terms of the EC data, Rajdeep, that the Election Commission has put out. The Aam Aadmi Party is countering it by putting out a block-by-block voter turnout. But what do you make of it? I think the Aam Aadmi Party would be keenly looking at the woman voter turnout.
Yes, Preeti, they would be looking at the women voter turnout. They've hoped that some of their schemes for women, like the free bus ride, will have an impact and will get them a substantial chunk of women voters. Remember, last time round in 2020, they had a sizable lead over the BJP when it came to women voters. But the fact is, Preeti, if there is deep anti-incumbency, as some of the exit polls have suggested, then it really doesn't matter, in my view, whether you're male or female. The truth of the matter is some of these polls which show the Aam Aadmi Party ahead substantially among women and the BJP substantially ahead among men. I mean, that level of gender division I've never seen in an Indian election. So it's either that the women have consolidated to some extent behind the AAP and to that extent will benefit from the same, or that the anti-incumbency is so deep that it's cut across the gender divide. Women are not a monolith, especially in an urban metropolis like Delhi. A woman who votes in an RWA may vote very differently to a woman who votes in a JJ cluster. So I think we have to be very careful when we extrapolate based on these statistics, a belief that the Aam Aadmi Party has some advantage. I don't think so, unless the Aam Aadmi Party is able to get women votes across groups. I don't think women voters being slightly ahead of men in terms of turnout is enough for the Aam Aadmi Party to believe that they could turn around what the exit polls are claiming. My belief is the exit polls have certainly caught a trend, which is anti-incumbency against the Aam Aadmi Party after 10 years in power. The only question now is that anti-incumbency deep enough to allow that 9% swing in favor of the BJP to enable the BJP to cross 40 seats and more? Or is the Aam Aadmi Party, despite the anti-incumbency, able to hold its own to a large extent? And I think in that context, the woman vote is key. Will a large number of women, especially those beneficiaries of Aam Aadmi Party's programs, stay with AAP? Or will they switch to the BJP, which, remember, Preeti, has promised 2,500 to women before Women's Day? That's the promise Prime Minister Modi has made. And the question is, will they go in for that promise? Or will they hope that the Aam Aadmi Party can finally deliver on their promise of Mahila Samman 2,100 rupees? I want to correct myself. Yesterday, I had claimed on your program that the LG had blocked the Aam Aadmi Party's Mahila Samman. The truth is, the Aam Aadmi Party made an announcement.
Too late.
The LG ordered an inquiry into some of the drives which were taking place on the ground, but the Aam Aadmi Party did not implement the Mahila Samman, unlike Maharashtra, where the Maharashtra government actually gave 7,500 in people's hands. The Aam Aadmi Party has not even implemented the 1,000 rupees in Punjab.
Right.
So there's a difference between an implementation and announcement And then it comes to credibility. Mr. Modi's credibility when he claims 2,500 before March 8th, Women's Day, or the Aam Aadmi Party promising 2,100. The one actual benefit, tangible benefit, is free bus rides. Now, is that enough? Who does
But
that
then,
benefit?
no, but Rajdeep, the Aam Aadmi Party already cashed that in 2020. One of the main reasons that the Aam Aadmi Party was voted in such large numbers by women in 2020 was actually the free bus ride. But Rajdeep, reflect on the larger figure in all of this. Overall voting percentage, and now, which doesn't include postal ballots, but even with postal ballots, it's not going to rise really much. It stands at 60.54%, which is about a percentage and a half lesser than what it was in 2020. It would probably hover about the same if you add postal ballots to it. What do you make of it? Is there an advantage, disadvantage, or do you think it's benign of any analysis?
Look, it's very difficult to extrapolate only based on these numbers as to who has the advantage. But yes, I can see why the Aam Aadmi Party is clinging on to these numbers, because if there was that level of anti-incumbency, then the voter turnout should have been much higher. You see, the very fact that voter turnout is down compared to 2020 will give the Aam Aadmi Party some heart that despite most exit pollsters claiming severe anti-incumbency, the anti-incumbency is not translating into any sudden surge in votes. In fact,
but Rajdeep, why can't we flip this around? Why can't we flip this around to suggest that there was such acute voter fatigue for Arvind Kejriwal's voters that they didn't quite come out in large numbers, and it was the BJP's voters that came out?
That is also true, which is why I said you can't extrapolate, but I can see why the Aam Aadmi Party is taking heart. Normally, anti-incumbency should result in a substantial increase in votes. If you look across Delhi and break it down constituency by constituency, the constituencies where the voter turnout has actually risen are often in minority areas, are in areas with large poor, in the poorer areas, in the middle class areas, in the areas of South Delhi. You don't see any surge in voting. It's not as if the middle class has come out in much larger numbers, certainly compared to 2020. Now, is that, we have to be very careful before, based on these preliminary numbers, we extrapolate as to who's won and who's lost. At the moment, all I'm willing to say is the exit polls captured one trend, which is that there is anti-incumbency against the government, because there is no poll which is giving the Aam Aadmi Party anywhere remotely close to what they got in 2020. They're all on the decline. It's now a question, how steep is that decline? Is that decline so steep that the AAP goes from 62 to below 20? Or is the decline of a kind where the AAP ends up at 40, 45? That's the real question. And I think, that will... that's a question I would rather wait till 11 a.m. tomorrow morning to answer, because anything I say at the moment, the equal and opposite could be true.
Well, you're 100% clear, because, I do agree. I actually feel either it's Arvind Kejriwal's Jagan moment, where the undercurrent of anti-incumbency is so strong, which many didn't pick up, but the polls have picked up, or on the other hand, he's been able to survive and get on with at least a little over 40 seats.